Hello students, I'm going to walk you through accessing data in Words. So the first thing we do is we go to the login ID, which is MBA Templeton, and I do this so that I can give all of my MBA students access to this account. Password is I love knowledge, which of course all of you do, so it's easy to remember. Alright, we go to login, and then we go to get data. We're interested in Copystat capital IQ. From here we want North America daily, and primarily we're interested in fundamentals annual or quarterly, but quarterly will give us more data. It will give us a larger sample size. So let's go with quarterly. So now you're in the database, and from here you see the interface to the Copystat database of interest. On this interface you will see 4 steps. The first step is to choose your date range. The first thing we will select is fiscal year. For the date range, we want to go back to 1961 in January. This may be difficult to navigate, so all you have to do is type in 1961 for the year and 01 for January of the year. The next step is to apply company codes. As you can see, there are various options for keys in the data set. A key means that we are able to uniquely identify records. One primary way of doing this is to use ticker symbols. So click on TIC for ticker symbols. Apple Corporation is our company of interest. The ticker symbol for Apple is AAPL, but what if we did not know that? Let's go to code lookup, and we will search for Apple here. And you see indeed it is AAPL. If you navigate the system using these command buttons and radio buttons, it gets to be kind of tricky. So I'm just going to get out of this form and enter AAPL into this selection field. Next we can go down and look at screening variables. This is probably beyond the scope of our class, but what it does is it eliminates data that may create noise in your analysis. Step 3 is to choose variable types. The data items are of primary use to us, and those are pre-selected. What that does is it populates the variable categories that you see here. You can probably learn all you need by scrolling around and looking at these fields. What you're doing here is selecting variables. Certainly you want the company name. Let's also select ticker symbol to validate that we are only getting data from one ticker symbol. And what that means is all of our records represent the same entity. You can scroll down to look at all of the fields about this company, and some of it is pretty technical. Only expert accountants are going to understand all of it. Let's click on identifying information, and these variables are useful in identifying companies when you're working with more than one, but we're just interested in one company, so we're not going to worry about it. Then we have more identifying information. We're not interested in the address or the city. If we had multiple companies, we could use that data to investigate geographical differences in performance. And scrolling down, you can look at the phone number for the company. You can call them. One piece of information that's important about your company is the SIC code. This will tell you about its products. It stands for Standard Industry Classification Code. Industries are defined by products. You can also get the web URL of your company, but I don't see a use for that in this project. Let's move over to the right and click on Company Descriptors. And you see here we have balance sheet information, and there's really nothing of interest here. Let's scroll to the right. This is quarterly data items. There are 362 options here. We have year-to-date items, supplemental data items. But I know that we can search all of these by going back to Search All and typing keywords into this search field. So think about the data we're interested in according to the assignment. Let's look for price. Note that there are several options. We're interested in the price at the close of the quarter. We're also looking for assets. We're not interested in current assets. We're interested in total assets for the quarter, or ATQ. So I click on that. It takes a minute. I'm also interested in earnings. For earnings, we're looking for net income. So we click on NIQ to select it. As you can see, we are building our database. Note that price at the close is per share, but assets and net income are aggregate totals for the entire company. We need a way to adjust them for each share before calculating the PE ratio along with the price. So we need to know the number of common shares outstanding. Let's search for that, and you see it here, CSHOQ. That's all the data we need from Copystat based on the instructions given. However, feel free to expand your analysis as much as you want. If you think that additional variables may relate to fluctuations in your firm's PE ratio, by all means, include them and test them. You can include them in your regression analysis. Step 4 is to tell the system the format of your output. This is an Excel-based project, so we're going to click on Excel Spreadsheet. This is not a big data set, so we don't really need to zip it. Unless you have a small device, you may want to zip it up. The date format is whatever is logical to you. For me, it's the 4th option. To make sure you know about any problems, type in your email address here. You can save this query to My Words, but remember this is one account and there are 100 people using it, so it may get lost if everyone saves their query to My Words, but you can do this nonetheless. I'm going to save mine as example query. Now we're ready to submit our query. When you do this, another form opens. You can see that the request is being processed. It updates about every 5 seconds, and when it's ready, you will see that the file appears in XLSX format, which is Excel's format. And you can see from this it is done. So now you click on here, and assuming you have Excel installed on your machine, you click here, press open, and there's the data set. You may have to click enable editing, and as you can see we have some nice logical names and definitely more information than we ever asked for. You see that the data is organized by time and it's quarterly. We have just downloaded a small sample of the massive amount of data available about Apple Corporation in Copystat. So now you're ready to perform your calculations. I hope this was useful to you. Thank you.